My name is Mark Doolin. I'm with the Conn-selmer Corporation. It's my pleasure today to be speaking with my friend Christian Lindberg, one of our great con-trombone artists, and we're talking about his life and thoughts in music. And Christian, you started at a bit later age than most people would suspect, given the career that you've had. Can you talk about your beginnings and how you came to play the trombone and who your teachers were a little bit?
Well, I started when I was 17 years old, very late. I played the trumpet before. I was a huge Beatle fanatic. I sang in choir, but I was a very sort of naughty boy, doing everything that a boy shouldn't do.
Typical trombone player.
Yeah. And then suddenly at 17, I had this friend whose father had the 78s with Louis Armstrong and Jack Teagarden. And my God, we were totally mesmerized by this. And it's like to hear Jack Teagarden was like a revelation. I loved his trombone sound. I still think it's one of the most beautiful trombone sound there is. And his song, his voice was so fantastic. So I sang and played trombone. I learned the basic street blues solo that copied it from his improvisation before I even knew the positions. And then I got a classical teacher, so I practiced very hard. I loved my instrument. After 1 year I got actually into the academy, and after another year I got the position in the Stockholm Opera Orchestra. And after that, I just felt, this is a bit too quiet for me. So I wanted to do much more with the trombone. I just loved the trombone. I wanted it to bring it to the front of the stage. And so I thought, I knew that this might probably be impossible. And all my teachers, I had many teachers. I had Roger Bobo, Dennis Wick, Sven-Erik Eriksson, Ralph Sauer, Peter Gain, Byron Peebles. And they all said, except Roger Bobo said, you're not going to make it. But I decided I'm going to go for it anyway. Yeah. So I did. Yeah. That's the beginning of my story. Yeah.
And we're all grateful that you did do that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I think everybody knows that you're legendary as far as your schedule and how you work. Can you talk about that? But there's some misconceptions, I would say, about exactly what that work schedule looks like. Can you describe that for people?
Yes. You know, I put on this video called Christian Lindberg Daily Routine, and it was one of the people who worked for me in my company who said, you got to do this because it's quite unique. And so he showed me what a day could look like. And then the comments in the field, does he have a life? And of course I have a life. I have a family, I have 4 kids, I've got 5 grandchildren, and I give a lot of time to those. I'm so excited over that. But to be able to do what I do, I'm going to be so effective. So to do the same things at the same times of the day, your brain is sort of pre-programmed at doing that at that time. You get most out of it. So what I do, I make sure that every day, I could actually do 9 or 10 days in a row with this schedule. After these 10 days, I'm totally dead. Not dead, but I'm sort of socially sort of hungry. Yeah. But I can also interrupt myself, so I can do it for the first half of the day and then be off doing social things and then cling on to it again at 9 or 8:30. And I always try to end the day 8:36 to 9 p.m. with a practice session. So 24 minutes practice sessions.
Which a 24-minute practice session is incredibly intense. I would imagine you probably get more done in 24 minutes than most people get done in 24 hours on the trombone. So, you are going into that session very focused, knowing exactly what you want to do.
Absolutely. I plan it before, so I know exactly what I have to practice, and I usually put a timer on my iPhone on 24 minutes, and once it's on, I'm totally focused on those 24 minutes, and then when it rings, I feel, wow, great. Time for my glass of wine at 9 o'clock.
Absolutely. Can you describe a perfect day in your life as a musician?
Oh, wow. A perfect day is when I get at least 8 hours sleep before, and I wake up and I get all my routine going, and I have a coffee with my wife at 11 o'clock or something like that, have a nice meal, afternoon maybe a walk, and then sleep a little bit, and a concert in Concertgebouw, Amsterdam, and a meal afterwards with the musicians.
That's a perfect day.
That's a perfect day.
It's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat that.